Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review
Let's review.
Use
And me's
Season
three.
3. Boom.
Bum. I think that was our best intro to date, Blue Dragon 5. Okay, we're back for Christmas in July 2016. We're a little behind. We're cutting down from 31 to 25. So next selection on the docket, live action, All in the Family, the iconic all-American, very kind of, it was polarizing but classic. And you know what else has the potential to be polarizing but classic, Blue Dragon 5?
Oh, what, Tiki? I'm on the edge of my seat. What?
Wait for it. You're never gonna fucking guess.
I never will.
It's the Movie Machine Podcast! Oh, Archie, it's what happens when you take four funny people and improv a movie based on a random story generator really fast,
Would
Archie.
you stifle yourself, Tiki? Let me tell the people what it's about.
Where can you find it, Archie? Where can the people find it?
Stifle yourself. I was getting to that. You can find it on hotchocolatemedia.net, not .com, because every Joe and Nancy, they're gonna go to .com. .com's gonna drop you like a sack of meats. You want to go to .net. So one more time, hotchocolatemedia.net.
Oh, Archie, I'm in the mood for some hot chocolate right now.
Well, then go to the kitchen and make it.
Okay. Good start, man. Good start. So, All in the Family. We did 2 episodes of All in the Family in season 2 of Christmas in July. We did the Draft Dodger, and then we also did, I believe it was Edith's cancer scare.
Well, I think it was like Edith Scare. I forget if Cancer Scare was literally in the title, but it's been a while. So
Okay. Yeah, something like Edith's health scare or something like that.
Yeah, Edith's health scare or Edith's... Yeah, I think it's Edith's health scare. I think.
Okay. So those were 2. I mean, All in the Family always has its, its very sentimental moment, and also, of course, its political leaning humor. It's kind of like brass look at American lifestyles and whatnot, and kind of like breaking down the American family. We saw in Christmas in July 2015, we saw 2 episodes that really kind of took obviously with the Draft Dodger, it was very much in the political leanings, talking about the Vietnam War and everything like that, talking about the pros and cons, and that was a very touching episode. And then we had the breast cancer scare episode, which obviously that was kind of like our big kind of end of the season emotional climax at the end of our run. We did that at the end of July. So coming in, Dragon, I think this was a really refreshing episode. I think Christmas Day at the Bunkers it's the first episode that All in the Family did as a Christmas episode, season 2, episode 11, I believe.
Yes.
And I gotta say, I kind of like this one just because overall I think the Draft Dodge might be my favorite of the 3. But I like this one just because it's the most sitcom-like. In that, like, they're all 3 of them are sitcom-like. But, I mean, like, this is the one that just very much feels like sit back, relax, have a few good laughs, have a lot of good laughs. And whereas the others kind of lean more towards, like, all right, we're going to have some laughs, but we're also going to make you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's great about this one is that this one also has kind of that... There's an undercurrent of kind of some good sentimentality that's kind of built into it. It's like when you think about kind of Archie's kind of arc and point of view in the episode, like you do kind of, you feel sympathy for the guy. And again, there is a lot of great heart in this episode. It's kind of buried underneath a lot of comedy, but it's there and it's still really strong. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're ready to dive into it?
Yes. Let's dive right on in.
Oh God! So we start with the lovable Rob Reiner, who I've grown a new appreciation for diving into Jaws again.
What?
I'm sorry, he's not in Jaws, is he?
What?
Oh God, I'm embarrassing myself.
Are you? Are you?
Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Roy Scheider.
Roy Scheider.
Oh Jesus! Oh wow! Oh, save me, Dragon! Save me! How does it start? Oh, that's embarrassing.
So the man who made you believe that Mike Stivic actually pulled off that toupee, Rob Reiner. We see basically the famous thing of All in the Family.
My head in shame right now. Take us through it. Take it through.
Okay, we open on Christmas dinner. So actually, something really interesting to kind of start this special on. We start on Christmas Day. It appears so. It's Christmas Day at the bunker, so it's not Eve. So rarely do you get to see kind of a Christmas Day. It's usually always kind of Christmas Eve and the endings of Christmas Day. It's usually how these Christmas specials go, and rarely on the sitcom. I mean, occasionally, like a show like Everybody Loves Raymond, because that's always like the parents coming over on Christmas morning. Rarely will you have a setup that lends itself to that.
Uh-huh.
And it really lends itself to. I'm just going to gush a little because I've been rewatching a lot of All in the Family recently, just kind of like the brilliance of the show. And this is one of the brilliant elements that the show, especially in the early seasons. And thankfully, I forgot where exactly this Christmas special was placed. I forgot if it was in the first season, or the second season, because the first season they were still finding themselves like any show. Second season onwards, like when they have that kind of that niche carved for themselves, and here's like kind of that great kind of. It's kind of a theatrical experience. It's like 4 people on a stage and on a set. In this case, basically you have your 2 sets, your kitchen, your living room. That's All in the Family. It's always those 2 sets.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like what I was speaking of, where All in the Family, very much each episode is just the typical 2-set sitcom, and it's just like with the other 2 episodes that we discussed, it's very much more like, okay, we're going to just really lean into it and really kind of dive deep into this big issue. With this, it's a lot more laid back than that.
Yeah. Of course, dinner time is always a famous staple because it's always like Archie's always yelling, "Eat it! Would you get dinner on the table?" It's like the classic setup. He's always this. It's the main formulaic element. They don't do it every show. It's pretty much like a staple. Like Archie comes home from work, he hangs his hat and his coat as Edith greets him at the door, and then gets dinner on the table because he's come home right around dinner time. It's usually how it goes. So now it's a holiday. It's Christmas. He has come home the night before, and now they're all just kind of eating dinner with each other. We know, as always, Mike Stivic loves food.
And he especially loves glorious stuffing.
Yes. And, they were... Ultimately, Mike and Gloria, they always took some weird turns towards the end of the show, and they kind of like... It's not on, like, Norman Lear's head. It's like network executives make kind of weird calls sometimes, and also, like... there will be spin-off shows, but Mike and Gloria's relationship kind of went to this weird place towards the tail end of the show.
I honestly didn't mind this moment, though.
I don't know, I'm sure. I mean, the thing, early on, it's perfectly fine. I'm just saying, like, down the line, I think in their spin-offs, they did a lot of kind of really bizarre stuff to kind of keep them still in the All in the Family banner of, like, hey, Gloria's a veterinarian.
Clark-style stuff?
No. It was much, well, that one was at least, it was like kind of like building off the same absurdity.
Right.
All in the Family, they took a lot of, not All in the Family, just all the spin-off shows. They took these bizarre left turns. See, there was a spin-off, of course, with spin-offs, you have Maude, and then there's Maude.
Right.
And then there's Maude. But you also have, like, there was a weird one just about the house occupied by a new black family. It's just really bizarre.
And then, of course, there's Archie Bunker's Place.
Well, that one was just that was the continuation of the show. So that was just that was like
the Jeffersons, which we'll get into.
Certainly. Anyway, points. All right, it's Christmas dinner. Yeah, Mike and Gloria. They have a lot of. This is back when they're still newlyweds. They're. It's like that maybe year and a half into their marriage, is still lovey-dovey. It's all sweet and nice, and just kissing over the stuffing and everything. And Archie, he's not exactly a jolly mood. We're gonna find out why through the course of this.
So let's just mark it down right now. Michael is obviously the Scrooge. I mean, there can't be any other Scrooge. It's got to be Michael, right? I mean, come on. No.
Yeah, I mean, he eats the bag. He eats some undigested cheese and everything.
Yeah, come on. What's wrong with him? What's wrong? No, obviously Archie is the Scrooge. Like he's like one of the most classic Scrooge archetypes we have to talk about in the TV landscape. So let's just chalk that up right now.
Certainly. But also, again, so it's Christmas Day. It's spending time with the family. It's the Christmas dinner, and we have our Scrooge. That's at least 4 right in the opening 3 minutes.
Bam, 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 like a pop gun.
Yep. And we have some hilarious Edith Archie comedy as per usual. And again, the brilliance with Archie, I'm going to say throughout this thing is that Archie Bunker is just one of the, I think on some list of like greatest TV characters of all time, he's at the top. He's number one on many of those lists. It's no wonder why, because he's such. Only Carroll O'Connor, the way he plays Archie Bunker, can you simultaneously, you can love such a bigoted character. In this case, he's not as bigoted.
Tell you, man, there's some moments in this episode that kind of make my skin crawl in the way he treats Edith.
Well, I mean, yeah, remember, Edith always
that kind of speaks to the layered dimension of his character, though, because, like you said, it's like every episode. I feel like a lot of the formula of All in the Family, like we're speaking of formula, from what I've seen, a lot of the formula is kind of like it starts off with Archie being very cranky towards Edith, and then by the end, there's like some really big emotional kind of climax towards Archie and Edith, and they get and they end up growing a fondness and appreciation for each other. Am I right about that? Because it feels like Archie's whole arc is that, like, on the outside, he's kind of like a chauvinist, and he's kind of just like, Edith, kind of, he tells Edith to shut up a lot, which is honestly kind of the thing that bothers me.
Well, no, stifle's like the running joke through the whole series. He always just says stifle yourself because she always goes on with her stories. That's the idea. She kind of goes on various unrelated tangents when he's trying to tell.
I have things going on in my personal life that I don't want to get into right now. But
don't bring it up then.
No, I won't. I'm just saying, like, that kind of stuff is kind of a trigger for me right now. So it's nothing against the show, and it's a great running gag. I'm just saying, like, for me, it was kind of hard to stomach. But anyways.
Well, the point is, that realization will happen a lot in the show, but Archie's gonna. It's not always in the focus, but the main runner, and this is the main thing, is that Edith. Yeah, remember, Edith's always kind of the more in control of the relationship, but she's like smarter than she lets on. That's the gag. It's like in this episode you get to see that because towards the end, she knows what's going on. Like she lets Archie win all. She buckles to Archie because she loves him.
Yeah,
that's what's so sweet about Edith Bunker, since she's an angel of the character. That's what she is. Archie's kind of like just the cranky guy, and she's always kind of his angel of mercy. So this loving figure in his life. It's always like she is his conscience. She is the good side of Archie Bunker personified. That's what she represents. At any point, it's like unless Archie goes really over the line, she'll let him have it. Like she'll tell him to stifle. She will. And but for the most part, though, she'll come to Archie's defense. Like there was a great scene where it's not in a Christmas special, so I'll bring up briefly now. There's a very famous scene, Tiki, where Carroll O'Connor, again, a lot of times during the show there will be contract disputes. This wasn't one of those times, but sometimes you'd have really powerful episodes where Archie Bunker would be out of the show, where Carroll O'Connor would actually be disputing money. But the point is, you could have really good episodes when Archie wasn't around, but his presence would be felt. And there's an episode where Mike is just kind of he basically gets a sense of what Archie goes through, and he basically is in the kitchen with Edith, and he tells Edith, Ma, he hates me. Why is Archie hates me, all this stuff, and Edith like puts her foot down and says, no, Michael, you will listen to me. Archie is jealous of you. You get to go to school. You have all these opportunities. He had to work to support his family back in the Great Depression. He had to do all that stuff, and he only yells at you and he chastises you because he's jealous of you and he loves you. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, the guys, this hilarious part where it's like Archie comes in and saying, "What is going on?" Just Michael says, just hilariously, "I understand," and gives him a hug. He's just looking like. So the point is, Edith is always just she's always that kind of. She's the smartest character, even though she on the outward side she seems just kind of like that.
Oh, Archie!
Yeah, she's perfectly fine filling that as the kind of the typical housewife boy, because she lives for it. Again, she doesn't really have any big delusions of grandeur. It's like, I have a nice daughter, a son-in-law, and the man I love who yells at me a lot. So that's how it goes. Anyway.
And trigger, but...
Again, she loved him. She'll believe me. Archie would never laid a hand on her. Dave might work. He never had never anything negative happen.
No. I know.
And again, she goes on tangents. That's why he tells her to shut up. It's not like just that he hates her voice or anything, except when she sings. That's understandable. But come on.
Okay, so what's going on with her? Archie is she does a little sigh at the table. It's like, well, what was that, Edith?
Questions the sigh, and they basically have this runner of what's.
No, I didn't mean what is it. What did you say? I mean, what is it? What was it for?
one of my favorite lines Archie says in this scene is, "Did I sigh?" And then Archie says, "Yes, you sighed. You heaved it right over in this direction, right in this air. It's like a wind tunnel."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say just again the timing on the show is always great. Again, these are just very brilliant performances.
It's kind of hard to take notes on this show because the timing and the jokes just kind of come so fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like the instant like she says okay, and then she sighs again, just Archie again, just the brilliance of time. Just there you go again. Because, oh, I must have done it unconsciously. That's the way you go through life. Again, there were like some funny barbs there, and again, if she's just she'll let it go. So let's see. So Gloria. Again, Gloria's calling on it. Gloria says, but come on, be nice, Daddy. It's Christmas.
Gloria, I would say, is probably the character that most represents like wanting to believe in the true spirit of Christmas. Maybe Gloria and Michael both.
Gloria, I don't know. Edith is. I mean, between Edith and Gloria, I'd say Mike's just kind of against the kind of commercialism of Christmas.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Mike is very anti-Christmas. Right.
I think Gloria, you might be right with Gloria. It's between Gloria and Edith, even though Edith is just kind of as long as it's with family, that's really what counts for.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Gloria, and by the way, I just want to mention something with Gloria. As rewatching it, always kind of really it's home. It's like, oh my God, it's so brilliant. Is that she has her mother's sweetness, but she has her mother's sweetness. She has like her kind of her brains are from Mike, being around him, but she has the mouth and the voice of her father.
Right.
She has seriously, if you've ever seen Gloria just kind of yell or cry, it's hysterical. She has like, this big fish-like mouth that when she just cries, it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. She's got like her mother's lung capacity. She has her mother's cry, but Archie's lung capacity. It's hilarious. Anyway.
Okay, so Edith mentions, well, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Christmas.
Yeah, she says, oh, that's why. I know why I sighed. She remembers suddenly while she said, because it don't feel like Christmas.
And then this is a great gag by Mike. Mike just kind of takes that and he goes like, oh, well, you see, Ma, what you really meant to say is Christmas is like being a victim of mass commercialism. It basically goes on a rant about it.
Basically, Mike says, I know exactly what you're saying. She's right. Is what she. I think again. Importantly, it's like this runner with Gloria also says, I think what Ma's trying to say. I think what Ma's trying to say is that the Christmas has gone too commercial, and then all sorts of other, basically kind of.
Basically like a deep, like liberal rant about Christmas.
Basically more of a cynical Linus from Trump.
No, I think Mike is kind of like the likable Brian Griffin.
Again, that's basically. Haley from American Dad is actually modeled off of Mike.
Oh, okay.
Well, again, remember Archie and Mike were informed as Stan and Stan and Haley from American Dad, but also Family Guy. There was an influence there. I'm sure a lot of Brian stuff probably stems from Mike.
Okay.
Again, early Family Guy.
So then we get a great gag where Edith's like, "Oh my! Did I mean all that?"
God. Just the sweetest character. One of the sweetest television characters. Again, I would say she was before we had the gift from God that is Vera Farmiga. We had Edith Bunker. We did.
Is Vera Farmiga the replacement for Edith Bunker?
I would seriously.
Coming of Edith. Just in terms of like how adorable she is.
Tiki, I would stand by that statement. I really, again, that's why when the events of season 4 Basement Tale, I had a line and towards the end there when we talked about the moments in particular that happened. I won't give it away for those who haven't seen it. But I told you, it's like the only.
Hold on, Dragon. I have a surprise for you. Shaka ka 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 shaka ka 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 ka. There she is.
Vera Farmiga Gold.
All right.
Yeah, it's I mentioned the only two of the most beloved characters, Norma Bates and Edith Bunker.
I want to see Norma Bates and Edith Bunker do an epic rap battle. That's seriously, get on it. Anyways.
Anyway, back to this.
That'd be amazing.
Let's see. So, Christmas is going commercial. It's not intended. by Edith. It's a running gig. So Gloria then kind of agrees. Yeah, you're right. It's not kind of like the classic ideas of. It's not the classic idea of Christmas. Chestnuts roasting on. This actually really stood out to me. And this show was really cutting edge with the writing back in the '70s. You got to remember.
Mm.
That's just some kind of astute things you don't really see in Christmas specials brought up at that time, such as like Gloria's saying, "Well, Tiki, when you or I we think of Christmas, you think of like when anyone just says, Christmas is all about it's all about kind of roasting chestnuts on the fire, being around people."
In the
And
comments, people, let me know: has anyone actually roasted chestnuts on a fire during Christmas? Has anyone roasted chestnuts on a fire? Have you?
Me personally, no.
No. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what it is? I feel like it's just kind of the start of that song, chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Well, I mean, I've seen it done. I haven't done it personally. I mean, not in person. I've seen it on TV.
Seen it done like on Disneyland, on Disneyland's Main Street at Christmas time or something like that.
I've seen it done on Happy Days and other Christmas specials.
Okay,
That's about it.
Right. Yeah.
I've never seen it done for fun. I've seen people eat chestnuts.
Well, I'm allergic to nuts, so I wouldn't know. But anyways, but we have this is again just great.
I love Archie's rationale. Archie's rationales are hilarious in this episode, as per usual.
Oh, why don't we got no chestnuts roasting on the fire, Archie?
Edith, let me ask you something. In all how many years we've married? Like it's like 23 or so. Because over
20 years.
In all the 20. See, they keep as the seasons go on, it kind of runs together. Like how many years? 20-something years have passed by. Like in all the 20 years we've lived in this house, have you ever once seen a fireplace?
Oh, it's great. That was great.
You can't really. It's not chestnuts roasting over an open radiator.
No, radiated chestnuts wouldn't be the same.
Then Edith, keeps the conversation pushing by bringing up, and the bubbles on here. It doesn't have the bubbles.
Oh God.
And then Gloria or someone points out, or Mike or someone points out, yeah, Archie, your bubbly, your bubbly gay self.
This gay as anyone here.
And again,
Archie much better than me. I'll leave Archie to
yes,
you.
Archie is not his gay, bubbly self, and of course, back in the day, folks, gay had a different meaning, and they poke fun at that towards the. Again, the show really shows you as the times go on, things do change. In the middle of the show, they do kind of point at the whole gay gag. But says, "I'm as gay as anybody here." I'm as gay as everybody here. Then Mike says, "No, he doesn't show it." So let's see. Mike asked a logical question. Hey Archie, what's got your Christmas spirit so down?
Mm-hmm.
Says, no, I put up a. He says, he says he put up a reef. He said, did you see me hang the reef outside? Basically, Archie's just trying to explain away that you can tell obviously he is bothered by it. Again, that's kind of our Scrooge-like thing, kind of covering up some. We know something definitely is eating away at Archie, and just the family won't let it go. And I got to tell you, over time, I do kind of. I think all of us, whether we like to admit it or not, depends how much we admit it. We do see some Archie in ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
maybe not the bigoted
character.
Maybe not always the bigoted side. No, we all have our own biases, but regardless, I think we all do definitely see kind of the haggard kind.
Yeah.
I think regardless, we do see kind of the haggard, kind of tired or cranky version of ourselves, and again, kind of the version of Archie I do. You like kind of save face sometimes by you just kind of like you'll be cranky just for the sake of not wanting to talk about things sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
Which is definitely Archie to a T. Let's see. Archie, basically he's being confronted by Mike and Gloria here saying, no, I hang the reef. I'm jolly. I'm as jolly as one of Santa's little gnomes. So, I mean, who you think done that? He says he put up a reef. Who you think done that? One of Santa's little gnomes? No, it was me. I'm not down. You don't know, Archie. You're not down, but you're low. And as he says low, he examines the tree. Like this tree, which is another runner for us.
Mark down the trope, folks. Mark down the trope. We got a Charlie Brown tree.
Charlie Brown tree, but also the incredible shrinking tree.
Right.
Lois and Clark.
Oh, God.
I told you it was coming back.
Yeah.
Tiny tree. But yeah, it's a little Charlie Brown tree here. A little pathetic, but loved Charlie Brown tree. So let's see. So
And it even like they even go as far as like Edith tries to put the star on the tree, but it falls over, just like Charlie Brown the Ornament.
I love that we didn't see it. We just had her just describe it so
Oh,
beautifully. How
you
did it
just get
sound,
like
Biggie?
the mental image.
Yeah, like Archie, let me set you up. It's only because it wasn't decorated. Yeah, why don't you put the star on the tree?
Well, Archie, I tried to put the star on the tree, but it keeps falling over.
Yeah, basically, this tree is not the king or the prince of the forest by any stretch, according to Mike.
Or the
So
king
after
and
he
queen of cheese. I'm sorry, random cow and chicken reference.
Anyway, so after Edith explains
Queen of cheese. Go ahead.
the tipping tree, which is a direct Charlie Brown reference.
Definitely.
Let's see. It's revealed that all right, here we go. Archie's kind of in the show, kind of is again. So I love the idea that Archie, you know, as cranky as he is all year round, he does really he does love the holidays, especially Christmas. Who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Archie says, well, you know, I would have laid out like 20 or 30 for a big tree as per usual if he had gotten his Christmas bonus. Hey, a little bit of Christmas vacation. They're not getting the Christmas bonus.
Right, right.
Yeah, again, this the Christmas bonus plot.
Christmas bonus also The Simpsons, importantly.
Also, we're going to find out the Christmas lie, so there's a trope.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely.
And then, you know, Mike saying, oh, man, no wonder he's down. Again, Mike's actually lending a sympathetic ear to Archie here. He's trying to let him go for the holidays.
That's what I
Oh,
love
man,
about
no
Mike, man. Mike tries so hard with the bunkers, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
And him and Edith have such a loving chemistry with each other, and then Archie and him just, you know, they're like very acidic, but they have kind of like a mutual, like, grudging respect for one another.
Yeah. And by the way, let me just, I don't want to just put Mike on a super pedestal here. I want to make it just very clear. You know, at times, Mike can get a little grating like Brian, but it was very minimal.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put him on a pedestal either. I'm just saying, like just seeing how far down the rabbit hole Brian has gone recently, like, I'm sure Mike never got that intolerable.
I'm saying, you know, Mike got great development over time. I'm just saying, you know, like any show, I mean, at times you'll have, like, when you have a character like Mike, you can teeter off into kind of, like, unlikable territory, you know, if you're not careful. Sometimes he slipped, but and that's, like, rare occasions in the sea of great episodes.
Okay.
I want to make that clear. Again, like, because I love Mike Stivic. I want to make that clear. You know, he's not all roses and sunshine. All right, let's see. So, no wonder he's again. Mike lending a sympathetic ear. He says, "No, up. Wasn't I? Wasn't I the first to wish you a Merry Christmas? Just the Gloria. Wasn't I the first to wish you a Merry Christmas? No, that was Michael. He says, but I was second. Give you basically did the annual coffee gestures. I think it's hilarious that he brings Edith coffee once a year. He says, you know how big a deal that is? Well, yes, you did. Yeah, no, it's a big thing for me. To the point, well, yeah, Arch, what about your fault? You didn't even do your foul out of laws like you always do for the Bunker Glee Club. I love just the idea of a Bunker Glee Club. God.
Right.
I did all my foul out of laws in the kitchen.
And then they try to sing Deck the Halls. They try. And then Archie gives a... Well, you lead the Deck the Halls, and they'll all do the Archie.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. Deck the halls with falls of holly.
Fall.
'Tis the season to be jolly.
Fall.
All right.
His heart's not into it. That's the point.
Just... Right. And then
so Archie just wants to be...
Real carolers come by the front door, and this is kind of like an interesting running gag of the episode that I think is a bit of a social commentary, is the charity around Christmas time. What do you think of this? I think this was probably like the most interesting kind of social thing in the episode, I think.
The fact that the Draft Dodger, we had like a great gag with the Carolers, and I love seeing that set up here. Just Archie Bunker's antagonistic relationship with Carolers during the holidays. But you're right, though. That is a really great thing that is in this episode. And we have, again, commercialism in the holidays, but less commercialism in this case, more kind of
it's almost kind of like hitting on the same themes that Lou Grant hit on.
yeah, like I don't want to say greed, but actually, is greed accurate?
It's hard to come
It's
up
not.
with a
Again, they're
correct
putting
word
the
for
bite
it.
on them, but they're not being. It is for good. It's for good causes and stuff, but
There
they are
is
putting the
one
bite on
that
them.
specifically bothers me that I do think is greed, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I mean, for the
Yeah,
majority of
yeah.
it, though, I mean, it's just kind of like it's a lot around the holidays, though. It's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot around the. I'm just trying to find. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just trying to find the right words because it's not. Panhandling just seems to be the only one. I mean, it's a lot of panhandling around the holidays. It's a lot of just people kind of. I'm sure there's a word for it in the comments. Leave it, folks. And we'll read it out and we'll leave you grab next episode. But and I won't offer much solace. But hey, promotion. Anyway, you see what I mean, though. It is a lot of kind of it's a lot of donations for the holiday. It's a lot, but again, it's like not just like a charity. It's a whole bunch of them. Like my grandfather, for example, he donates to one charity because he knows it goes directly to them. He has like long history with them, so he donates to one charity around the holidays. He's not exactly throwing around every charity. Like
Right.
yeah,
And
so
that's
the
kind
only
of like
ones
the
like he
point of
trusts
the
in. It's like
episode is that it's good to be charitable, but when it gets to the point where
yes,
everyone is wanting your money, it kind of like it almost kind of defeats the purpose of charity to begin
it
with.
is kind of. It is kind of despicable because again, it's like they're taking advantage of you on a day of rest. It's on Christmas Day.
Dragon, I'm gonna blow your mind. I am going to fucking blow your mind. You're ready for this? Would you consider the carolers in general to be the Scrooge of the episode?
No, they don't change.
Yeah, you're right. They don't change. Oh well.
Mine unblown. I want my dollar back.
I'm sorry.
So, no, but what the last thing on the case before we move on is that again, like they're putting a bite on people while they're vulnerable, while they're in a good mood, while they're cheer, which again is like it's oh sweet, you get charity around the holidays for people in good spirits. But wait a minute, it's a lot of charity from people when they're supposed to be kind of spent down with the families. Just kind of again for me, Christmas. This is what Christmas is for me. It's a day to just take it easy. That's what Christmas is. It's a day you kind of put all the strife aside and just kind of enjoy the day. That's what Christmas is. That's what the holidays are. I think in the midst of the chestnuts on open fire, all the cliches, it's what it is at the end of the day.
For sure.
Yeah, and Archie again. So I right off the bat, I have a lot of sympathy for Archie. Like, yeah, it is kind of a lot. That's a lot. Like three different people stop by to put the bite on Archie this holiday season, along kind of your classic commercialism and kind of like pricey gifts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What Archie's state of mind is and the reason why he's in a bad mood. You understand completely why all these people asking for money around the house is really getting to him.
That's kind of why I'm hesitant to call Archie the Scrooge now that I'm thinking more into this. What do you think?
Well, I mean, his mood changes though, and he does learn something by the end. It's a very subtle lesson.
Scrooge, so
He learns a very subtle lesson though. I mean, he learns a lesson that's subtle.
I'm just saying, like, it's not as cut and dry as, like, oh, Archie Bunker, he's a guy in a fucking bad mood, so he's obviously a Scrooge. It's like, he comes from a very sympathetic place, I think, almost all the way through this episode, you know what I mean?
Again, it's not him, like, not wanting to give money, because, again, we know with the tree, if he had the money, he would gladly, give it out around the holidays. He'd be in a generous mood. Again, money's tight, which is running thing and all in the family. Money will always be tight in various places.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, with especially the reason of like why he ordinarily would have money to give to these guys, and it's really getting them down, which he's not telling the family right now. So again, but it does play exactly in the first watch, before you learn kind of what the reason why. You're like, okay, man, Archie's just really in a bad mood. He's not getting anyone
right. That's essentially it. It's like, oh man, Archie's like particularly pissy tonight.
Yeah. So let's see. So and again, Archie, it basically summarizes this one moment with Archie. Here's all the. Archie's main gripe here is that Archie just wants to be left alone to digest this dinner, and I love this. It's like this great singing sandwich here, where it's like, okay, it's like there's like fa la la, the half-heart fa la la. Says, I just want to be left alone to digest my dinner. And then the carolers show up, and then Edith essentially she feeds the panhandlers.
Mm-hmm.
Gives the carolers some cash. It's really, first of all, you shouldn't tip carolers ever.
Yeah.
Okay, they're singing on their own accord.
I don't know the courtesy of that, so I'll just like I've honestly never had carolers just come up to my house, so I'll take your word for it. Sure.
I haven't had that either. It just doesn't seem right to me. Like you never see it done. I've never seen it done. I don't think that's until especially I've never seen you
look,
tip
you
the
know, like
careless.
each Saturday night, I go up to my my local cafe. I have a bottle, you know, I have a glass of Pinot, and I listen to some music, and I always tip the band a couple dollars. So
Well,
it's
that's
like,
different though. I'm talking. You came there, and they're in, you know, for their and they're working hard. I'm talking about like Carol's just doing it on their own time. Okay, and just like they're going from house to house. That's a scam if they're taking money.
All right, fair enough.
Those are like 12 red and green salesmen coming and going from the door.
Oh god.
Anyway, so as Edith feeds the panhandlers, basically Archie has this really astute line. He says, I'm sick of people wishing me Merry Christmas then asking for money. Again, it's not just the simple cut and dry, like, hey, Archie, Merry Christmas, not asking for the bite, not wanting to get anything in return. So, I mean, there is a bit of greed there. It's kind of like a reverse Scrooge in a way. Again, if
Scrooge, motherfucker.
It's a
it's like remember how mind blown we were with the Lou Grant thing?
Oh yes,
that's
right.
What I'm saying, mere Scrooge.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's like Archie is
perceived. Mere Scrooge, I really want to do it now.
To a mere Scrooge?
Yeah, just the carolers in general are the mere Scrooge. Just the whole concept of it.
I'll give you just like all the people coming to the door. They are a mere Scrooge.
Mere Scrooge. We got a mere Scrooge. Another rare sighting. They're like unicorns, but they do show up. All right, I'm excited now. I'm excited.
Like unicorns, even rarer sight. They're unicorns that shoot money. Honesty,
it's hard to call Archie a Scrooge in this episode, even though he does start out curmudgeony. It's like.
Well, I mean, Archie's still the main Scrooge, but the rest of the guys, you have, it's a mere Scrooge. It's not a full Scrooge.
Well, I think it was kind of like with Lou Grant, the mere Scrooge was our main selection as the Scrooge.
Well, my main point is that I love that Archie is perceived as Scrooge as he's the guy not giving out the money, but no, like the people that are money obsessed. Archie is not this money obsessed during the holidays.
That's what I'm saying.
Except the fact that he does not have that money. That's why.
But you understand what I'm saying, though. That's exactly what was going on in the Lou Grant special.
Yes.
So.
All right, I see what you're saying. I'm still Archie is technically our Scrooge, though. But you're right. There is a lot of mere Scrooge.
I really want to do a mere Scrooge.
I'm working with you halfway here. Let's move on.
All right. I'm sorry. Anyways.
All right. So let's see. So again, Archie usually loves Christmas. Mike brings up. Brings up a little anecdote. As a kid, he and his family they all gather around under the tree, looks at the tiny tree. A little pause goes by. Big tree. And he got them.
Barry White just dug it up from the basement.
And he got what did he get from Ontario? What did Mike get from? Sorry, they got the tree, and usually they got the tree from. Ontario. Am I saying that wrong? I don't know why.
No, Ontario.
I don't know why. In my notes, I didn't read. Sorry, I don't have a lot of occasion to say Ontario. So you get the tree from Ontario, which sets Archie off, and you think, oh my God, Archie hates Ontario. So Archie, it is revealed that, and I like how you can kind of put the audience
honestly,
can put the pieces.
Kind of like I kind of thought he was like, oh my God, is he like just really racist towards Canadians now? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Well, we know he doesn't. We know he doesn't condone going to Canada. But yeah, I mean, all the things we Archie be bigot around the holidays. Canadians, really?
Like, those damn Canucks.
Yeah. Anyway, so I like that you can put the pieces together from this point on. Like, I kind of put together, like, okay, I get exactly what's going on here. And then Edith, she really
Deadpool.
Hey, come on.
No, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so Archie, basically, it's kind of revealed that Archie was the reason why Mike Archie's continue yelling at him about mentioning, oh, you put him up to this, Edith. I know what you put him up to this. Gloria, what game are you playing? He was just, well, Daddy, and they're all just trying to calm him down. Archie, that's the problem. I'm sorry, I'm just mentioning. Sorry, basically, it's revealed that I guess Christmas Eve or a few days before Christmas Eve, he sent the shipment to London, Ontario instead of. I'm sorry,
Ontario, Canada.
right, Ontario, Canada instead of London, Ontario, or vice versa.
Instead of Ontario, London.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was. I don't know, I could have sworn it was like he sent some to London, England instead of London, Ontario, or something. I don't know. It's regardless. Ontario was involved.
I think you could be right. I think you could be right.
My notes are backwards.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Regardless, the point is he confused the places with the same name. That's the main point.
Okay, so there's two Odessas, there's two Birminghams, and then Edith comes in. And this New York, New York.
And then there's stifle, Edith. Again, it's like not helpful comment. That's why he's stifling you. Not helping. But yeah, it's London, England, and it's London, Ontario. He got the Londons confused when he said send it to London. I think he sent it to London, Ontario, or something. I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
Ontario was the reason for the screw up, and Archie felt really embarrassed about it, made him feel really dumb, and also you're gonna find out the full consequence was.
Oh yeah.
So kind of pinching your pennies around the holidays and said, well, what about you, meathead? You didn't really do anything extravagant around the holidays. And it's mentioned that, well, actually I didn't see you fork any dough for the holidays. It was spend a lot of money around the holidays. He said, well, what are you talking about? We got you for Christmas. We got you electric carving knife and cigars. And I love Archie chewed them out over the cigars. Those really do look like lame cigars. They really do.
Go ahead.
Cigars and the white tips at the end. So he says, when I put a cigar in my mouth, I want to feel the tobacco in my teeth, not this little whistle here. And then what Archie got him by his and her handkerchiefs.
Oh God.
Edith, oh yeah, I love my
handkerchief. So
what does she ask?
Bought two of the same present.
Nope, and just somehow I guess he just took his half out of the box somehow.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's like, how did you ever convince him to give you the hers?
Stifle, Edith.
Okay, so then Archie's is kind of reflecting on the simpler times of gift giving, how it's the thought that counts, and basically, mainly importantly, again, just showing Archie's kind of like arc here, and again, Wilder had more sympathy points built around kind of this.
This is probably the heart of the episode right here. This is like the real heartfelt moment.
It is, and importantly, again, this episode really does hold up on the rewatch, folks. And a big element of that is this moment here, where again Archie is reflecting on times where he had that Christmas bonus, times where he had money around the holidays. Again, Archie's a jolly guy around the holidays, but again, it's in that Christmas bonus where he can. It's like the one time. I think the idea, Tiki, is that it's like the one time around in the year for the bunkers to not worry about money, not worry about paying the bills because they have a Christmas bonus,
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like a time for Archie to splurge and be a nice guy. Like one of the few times he's a jolly guy around the holidays. So, let's see. So, Archie had basically the story about the Gloria one year. Let me tell you this: the little girl one year she wanted a China doll house. So I've been saving up, and again, this is the heart of the episode. You're right. It's that Archie, the idea Archie bunker around the years, they're going to give his daughter what she wanted for Christmas. He saved all the pennies and dimes he could find. He was
a Christmas trope in itself, right? Just
the saving up for the big gift,
a heavily desired big present.
Yep.
Red Rider man.
Tuba phone.
Oh God, yeah, gotta have the tuba phone.
And again, folks, that's spelled T-U-B.
Early on for this year.
What?
Is it hamburger on a stick? Are we gonna go with hamburger on a stick?
Well, Tiki, let's bring up our other sponsor. So, coming to a mall near you, hamburger on a stick.
That's right, man, dear. Okay.
Mike Stivic with a mouthful says, I'm enjoying some great hamburger on a stick right now. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, and also, Archie, in case the people forgot, they can go over to the Movie Machine podcast at Hot Chocolate Media.
Edith, will you stifle? Let me tell them. It's on hotchocolatemedia.net, not .com, or else you fall and you drop stuff and you lose it.
Okay. Okay.
Now back to the regular scheduled programming. So basically, let's say, Archie's going to sail, and basically the story kind of equates to, okay, he's saving up his pennies, really pinching it really well, and until his boss gave him his first Christmas bonus, and how happy he was, and he was so happy-go-lucky. You got Gloria that big old doll house, and again, I love Carol, kind of such a accomplished actor. He just tells you a story you can picture in your mind. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that just that? And I love that the camera's like slowly pushing you, like the nostalgia, and like you can see the gleam of hope in Archie's eyes. It's a really well done scene, and it has a hilarious punchline. Don't get me wrong.
It does.
Which is Archie saying, and you know what I got? I use that. The first thing I did with that bonus is to buy that China doll and dollhouse. And Gloria says, "Oh, Daddy, that's so sweet, but I don't remember it." And then Edith, again, as much
you never got it.
and then Edith, again, as much as we love Edith Monk, you gotta admit this is a stifle well earned.
Yeah,
She just kind of killed this story.
He was coming up the front stairs and he tripped and fell
because he was
he
drunk.
wasn't hurt, but all to pieces. Stifle, Edith, stifle.
Just killed his story. I just love the fact that she. If I was someone like this,
oh, and also I forgot to mention he was the boy. He had too much to drink.
Just how sad is that? Like, it's like from the Arthur's Christmas special. Not Arthur Christmas the movie. I'm talking about the Arthur, like the Aardvark, the PBS show.
The Arthur Christmas special has drinking.
No.
We should talk about Arthur sometime. I'd be down.
Sure, but it does not have drinking in it.
Okay.
No, basically there's a climactic bit where basically something is broken. Like he says, "Yes, the covenant item," and then smash. Hope's gone.
Okay, right. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yep, and again, literally what Archie's doing is saving his pennies and everything. He's like, oh, the wasted years. Someone bring out the Hemlindigo blue teapot.
Oh, we'll get to the Hemlindigo blue teapot, sir. We'll get to that. Trust me.
Jimmy, it's so lovely, and you bought this for me. Yeah, Howard, so you deserved it.
Oh God.
And is that blue? No, not just any blue, Howard. Hemlindigo blue. Da 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 da. Anyways, that's the ending of our fictional Better Call Saul. No, it's not really going to be in there at all. We'll see. Anyways, moving on. So again, Edith has killed Archie's story with a hammer, essentially. Stifle Edith. That's after the stifle. Yeah. Then we have another visitor, and no, it's not Harvey Korman. It's Wilbur the Milkman.
Okay, and here we get into probably like the biggest issue with the episode, right?
Yeah, well, it's always take us through it, Dickie.
Okay, well, this guy just comes in and I don't know. His name's Wilbur, right?
Yeah, no, he's not a regular character. It was a one-off.
Okay,
they call him Wilbur, so I just gave him the full moniker.
He's got some nerve, motherfucker.
He does. On Christmas Day, you stop by,
folks. Fucking day.
And just because you didn't deal with him, because he didn't deal with him in person, also again, just money's a little tight right now. That's probably why it wasn't in addition.
I mean, you want to wait a day or two? Like, you want to, like, just give the family a chance to enjoy the holidays? I don't know. Maybe if he, like, came over with a gift or something. Maybe if they threw the fucking fruitcake trope in there. Like, oh, hey, I come bearing fruitcake. Now I want money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, this is totally like the Nick Ford moment where it's just like, oh, I just give me shit.
Again, if he learns something, I can call him a Scrooge, but he doesn't learn diddly squat. He comes again. You're right. Had it been the day after Tiki, then the Christmas spirit, it would have been, the tip would have been gone though, because it would be had no precedent. So that's why he went over. I'm just saying that's his bizarre rationale. I'm not saying it's what you should.
It's Christmas, so give me money.
Well, I'm saying if it was the day after Christmas, but why am I giving you extra money?
Right.
Yep, but you're right though. Had he done actual Nick Ford, had he done a proper Nick Ford. And I'm going to say Nick Ford. I don't mean the botched version of Nick Ford actually do. I'm saying the fixed version that we always reference.
Well, the proper Nick Ford would be like actually bringing something, bringing some sort of pleasantry to the table. That would be proper Nick Ford. Like
that's a Nick Ford.
I love how Nick Ford has become a verb.
Again, that's what Nick Ford. He practices. No, he protests, but he does not practice. This
pleasantry, but he does not practice it.
Yes. Pleasantries, Dylan, pleasantries, and yet he does not
Pleasantries.
offer any pleasantries whatsoever. Anyway, let's see. So again, doesn't show up any pleasantries or anything. Bad milkman, bad milkman. And basically, he's kind of, I love Archie does, chew him out, kind of yells at him for a bit. Just saying, yeah, it's yelling out his Christmas time. And anyway, do they donate to him? Remind me. Wait. I remember lines of the milkman. So the milkman asks about somehow Archie tips him somewhere. Somehow he gets money, but regardless, he says Archie is really not happy. He's yelling at him for a bit there, and then Wilbur essentially he says kind of the darning line here where he says, basically we're not all
asking for the same tip as last year.
Yeah. No, I mean like when after he gets after he asks for it, I guess Wilbur reveals that like we're not all, like Archie says like we're not all strapped for cash around the we're all strapped for cash around the holidays. Everyone's asking for money. He says, oh well, if I had reveals that if I had a firm that gave out bonuses like yours did, oh boy, I'd be giving.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
And that's the darning line right there. And he says, oh yeah, I heard from another guy who worked at Archie's place that they get a big old Christmas bonus like every year. And Archie denies it. He tells him, don't you have a family? Get out of here. And then the family descends on Archie.
Yes.
So again, a lot of questions are thrown around here, and I love that Edith does not ask any questions because she's so smart. She figured. So the family, this family's questioning the claims, and again, Archie's being about pitching pennies around holiday, and he's even built up sympathy points with Mike, which is a rare feat.
Sure.
Because Mike's usually on his case, he's like in boxing corners essentially. And in this corner we have the Pollock, who is no lock to mess with, Michael, the meathead, Stivic, and in the other corner, in a really comfy chair, we have Archibald, Shoeboy, Bunker. Ding, 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 ding.
Well done.
Anyway, so the way it's usually going is the way Mike is now descending on him, asking what's going on, questioning the claims, and who are you going to believe, me or some milkman? It's basically, he's refuting the claim, and they're grilling Archie, and Edith sticks up for him, and it's a really sweet moment, or Edith sticks up for him, saying, well, I don't remember quite what was said. Yeah, do you remember what follows this?
I don't have it. I literally just have Edith sticks up for him. I'm sorry.
I remember there was this great moment though. So after that, basically, Edith sticks up for Archie, saying, don't question your father. I'm sure it's fine. Because later on we have another moment like that. That's why you can get a little mixed up.
She just says like, if your father says that he didn't get the bonus, he didn't get the bonus.
So we're gonna have a great resonance for that later on. We have this great moment. There's a really great shot where Archie's kind of looking down sadly at the little tree, just like, oh, poor Archie. It's like he again looking at it saying, yeah, they found out, now I look really bad. Just poor Archie. He's like the most sympathetic Scrooge we've ever had.
He's not a goddamn Scrooge. I keep telling you this.
He is a Scrooge, technically.
All right.
Yeah, we have a technical Scrooge, we got a mirror Scrooge. Together they are a fully functioning Scrooge, but individual they're halfsies.
You know what? I can run with it. I can run with like a fusion Scrooge.
Fusion Scrooge!
Let's do it. Fusion Scrooge.
I don't know how to do the fusion dance. You got the earring? Sorry, Dragon Ball Z references. Moving on. So.
Here's the moment of the episode right here. Some more carols come up, and Archie just gets really pissed off.
How's it go?
He opens the door frantically, and it's like, get the hell away from this door!
And who answers the door but a nun?
Like the most innocent-looking nun in the world.
And again, just the famous thing on the family is
on its face. Dragon, out of all three of the All in the Family episodes we've reviewed so far, this is like the moment of all three of those episodes for me.
Just kind of just the genius.
So well timed. That was so fucking well timed.
Yeah, I remember too. Throughout this whole series, there's so many just laugh out loud. You don't have like a laugh out. You don't have like the LOL texting thing without this show. You really don't. You know, you need these were the laugh out loud moments. These are the ones that took minutes for people to recover from. You know, like
Exactly. Right.
I'm talking
right,
like the
right.
Sammy Davis Jr. kiss. I'm talking like, you know, Archie resuscitating the transvestite. I'm talking about all that stuff.
Totally.
You know, oh boy, it's all those. These are one of those moments, you know, where you just have like great reaction on him, and I love the fallout of this. By the way, it's a hilarious gag. But then it was Edith donates, and again, this is sweet. This shows you again there is a great heart and great kind of backbone to this episode. With these little moments where Archie he feels really bad about saying that to a nun. And
like I said, man, just the facial, they hold on his face for like a good 10 to 15 seconds, and it's great.
But here's the backbone I'm talking about, Tiki, where Archie says he wants to throw in like another 50 cents or something, but he only has a dime because again, poor Archie. He would love to give, but he doesn't have the money.
Right, I hear you.
And he gives it there. He's really embarrassed, and I just love this. Again, typically Edith answers the door constantly, and then whenever Archie answers the door, disaster follows.
Oh God.
And I love him saying, "Why you?" I love him saying, "And why do you let me answer the door like that?"
Oh God.
Okay, let's see. Following that, that's for that's the nun. Sorry, I'm just looking at the rounds here. Why you leave me alone? Answer the doors, gag. We have Archie asking. Edith sitting in his chair, and I guess the carolers have either finished that point, or Edith's about to give us a good rendition. Archie says, "Edith, I just want a silent night," and then,
I don't know.
Give me a few bars, Steve. Give me a few bars.
Silent night, holy night.
Stifle.
All is well.
Stifle yourself, Edith. Put your stifle. Your thing back. This is when you were a kid. Did someone drop you on your throat? Oh, come on. I'm
not fond of that line, but again, trigger. It's
okay. I'm saying in a more aggressive manner, but he asked like kind of like a genuine kind of question.
Yeah, I know.
You were a kid. Did someone drop you on your throat?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, let's see. So we have a mistletoe gag, and Mike and Gloria accuse him of being Scrooge. So these are where the Scrooge act again to them. He's a. I'll tell you what. I got the perfect word for it. He's a surface Scrooge. Well,
what?
I was gonna say surface Scrooge. What do you like better, surface Scrooge or fusion Scrooge?
I like fusion Scrooge just because it sounds awesome.
Fusion Scrooge. Okay.
Fusion Scrooge. I mean, seriously, that's like the most amazing Christmas character ever. Okay.
If only Archie and a Killer could dance. And then they become a huge white in a white button-up shirt.
Oh no. Okay. I love it though. I love it. I think Fusion Scrooge is gonna become a running gag. Anyways.
Right. Okay, let's see. So moving forward from that. We get the mistletoe gag calling him Scrooge. Archie claims, "I'm the only one around here who knows the true meaning of Christmas. Peace and quiet and condemnation."
Thinking religious thoughts.
Yes, and then we have Archie giving us Archie's sermon from the Bible here. It's hilarious.
Go ahead.
Archie the Bunker and his rationales are hysterical. Basically, it's a time to think religious thoughts. And Gloria questions this as Archie takes a swig of something and says, "You think God would like a drink around the holidays? Well, there's wine in the Bible. Don't you think God would drink to celebrate his son's birthday?" And then Mike, who I don't know if his views have evolved because
this is probably the one moment from Mike that's a little iffy this episode.
No. I say that because in the flashback when Gloria and Mike met, he said he was agnostic, and then Archie always calls him an atheist. So I don't know if he's just
Archie could just call him an atheist, just kind of like as a slur. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I mean, Mike's he doesn't believe in that officially.
I would chalk Mike down to agnostic.
I understand, like he said agnostic in the past, and he never really.
The difference between agnostic and atheist is if agnostic, you acknowledge the possibility of a higher power, but you're not convinced of it.
Yeah.
And with atheist, obviously, you just deny a higher power outright.
Exactly. So I think it sounds like Archie making. I think you're right. I think it's just Archie's
He literally calls him a meathead atheist, which sounds like a slur. So.
And he's called him atheist a lot of times before. That's why I kind of think it
Uh-huh.
might have been. But yeah, I think you're more on the mic with that one anyway. So
Okay.
What's the point? So Mike brings up again. I don't know. I think it's still okay on Mike. So we're just pointing out. So I find myself agreeing with you before I finish my statement. Sorry. I think you're right on this one, Dave. I think Mike is a little much on this one. Just like, yeah, come on, just let him have this. Don't complicate matters. This is you rarely hear this one debated. That okay, Jesus isn't the Son of God. It's kind of a rare debate, don't you think? I don't want to get into a whole debate about it. I'm just saying. My point is, like, you don't hear the conversation.
I honestly am on the Mike side of things, where I do believe there was like a philosopher named Jesus. Whether or not he was actually the Son of God, whether or not there actually is a God, let's put that whole other conversation aside.
What I mean is, like, you rarely hear that particular debate. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
I'm not saying we need to debate that, right? Let's not talk about it.
Let's do it, Dragon. Let's just have a kickback cafe
no.
debating the existence of God.
I'm going to call in sick for that one.
Well, how about either that or the Dark Knight Rises debate?
Okay, you don't make the ultimatums here, Buster.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway,
for the record, I would never want to do the religious one ever.
Anyway, let's see. So it's Mike. Mike brings up some proof that maybe the idea that maybe Jesus isn't the Son of God. All right, and then he says, that's fairy tales. When he says fairy tales, it's going a little too far. That's when Mike kind of steps over. You don't want to call it fairy tales. It's kind of a little mean-spirited.
I mean, I think they're more kind of like moral fables than anything else.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying fairy tales is a poor choice of words. So that's regardless, but anyway, so then Archie says, they don't give holidays for fairy tales. They don't give you a holiday for being a fairy tale.
Easter
and basically... Well, Archie, I'm just by Archie's logic, all right?
All right, fair enough.
I was waiting for that reference in that episode, by the way. I forgot they made it. But no, they didn't, so I said, okay, well. I was still waiting for Mike to point that one out.
Well, what about Easter Bunny, Arch? Anyways.
I don't count. He was hiding eggs. Eggs come from chickens. That's fact. And basically, him say, like, everything in the Bible is fact, starting from the beginning. It took 7 days to create it. I love this. This is my favorite of all the Archie logic, because I think it kind of makes sense. I love how ridiculous this is. It's that he says, no, it was 6 days, Archie. He says, he basically says that 7 days. There's only one religion. Otherwise, you look silly. But this is no, Archie. It was 6 days. Well, it took 1 day to appreciate. 1 day to appreciate his work. He's still walking around checking it out. I just love that logic because it kind of makes sense. If you spend 6 days putting in all this effort, on the 7th day it's your day off, but we're going to examine things. It's kind of a work day. It's a half C.
Right. Exactly.
I just love that insane logic. It's like.
And speaking of insane logic, he goes on to say, like, they made us all one true religion, and Christians are named after God's son, Christian, or Christ for short. Oh God.
And I love that. Basically, what it boils down to is that he says he compares religion to the one that got away. How ridiculous is that? The next, and then there's a knock at the door, and here we go, folks. You're coming close to the end here. So Archie plans to scare the next panhandler away, and he opens the door, and it's Henry Jefferson as Black.
Not George Jefferson.
No, I'll get into that in a moment. So Henry Jefferson enters the scene as Black Santa.
Black Santa, not quite as cute, not quite as cool as Fusion Scrooge. But cool nonetheless.
Black Santa.
Okay.
Or Ebony Kringle, but I think Black Santa works a lot better.
I think Black Santa is just, I think it just is what it is.
Anyway, so we Henry Jefferson is in, basically, folks describe it, he's in a Santa suit, but with a black beard. Kind of a black Mr. T style
beard. Black beard is what, like, we're not even saying it in terms of skin color. It's like we're saying it.
No, I mean, it's
Like, it's literally like the black beard. It's literally like the black reverse of the white Santa.
Yeah, I mean, like someone like dunk the white beard and then like
right,
paint
exactly.
or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it looks a lot better than just paint, but I mean, it's a black version. It's black hair. It's black hair. Anyway, so it's Henry Jefferson. We gotta love just like in the moment of pause, just opening the door to Archie, opening the door of all things to a black Santa.
Oh god.
And then the fact that Henry Jefferson is kind of his rival. So let me explain this to you real quick. It's the only thing I really need to explain to you is that Henry Jefferson. Well, again, the Edith stuff we kind of talked about. This is the main thing to talk about. Is that Henry Jefferson? I'm sure, like you and many people, Henry Jefferson. I was the first way I saw it too. Was like, wait, Henry Jefferson? But I thought it was supposed to be George
Jefferson. Because that's honestly who I thought it was. I thought it was George Jefferson.
Yeah, Sherman Hensley. What's going on? And the first episode, you were led to believe that this was George Jefferson, but the idea they needed someone to fill in for George Jefferson, and needed Archie to kind of offend the new neighbors, and they needed kind of the male version there. And the problem was that Sherman Hensley, who was signed on for the part and everything, he was on Broadway at the time.
Oh.
So they basically here was the rationale. The rationale was that George Jefferson worked a lot, and before they had the rationale, he was working the dry cleaning business because Edith is good friends with Louise Jefferson. I love Wheezy Jeff. I love Louise Jefferson. And sorry, let's get into here. Right. So George Jefferson, the idea is he was bigoted against white people, and he did not want to meet Archie. So he basically Louise she brought in his brother to pretend to be George Jefferson to meet Archie. They got into it, and basically filling in until they got George Jefferson. He was kind of the black rival of Archie Bunker. He was essentially. And remember, George Jefferson is a black version of Archie Bunker. He's a bigot towards white people. That's what the gag is. Only he's a little more snappy with his comebacks at his wife. See, that's the relationship I think you're thinking was with Edith. I mean, he berates his wife in comedic fashion, but Archie's he just tells her to stifle now and again.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, let's see. So Henry and Louise. Point is, it's George's brother. It's George Jefferson's brother. So let's see. Henry and Louise enter. They mention that they're gonna. First of all, Archie says, "I think you look more like a rabbi."
Which I think is actually kind of accurate when I stop to look at it for a second.
Looks a lot like a rabbi's beard. It does.
Yeah. It's
Louise says,
"Top Santa."
Yeah, Louise is stopping by. And by the way, I just want to mention real quick because I don't really get to talk about All in the Family. I love rewatching the series. I love Louise and Lionel Jefferson. Those two are so delightful. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Louise Jefferson. She's so nice. She's Edith's best friend in the whole world. And she's so pleasant, so friendly, and she really doesn't deserve to be called Wheezy ever. She's just so sweet and lovable.
Right.
And I mean, basically, she's like a more sassy version of Edith Bunker. She's just as nice and sweet as Edith Bunker, but she gets a lot of cool one-liners though. Mm-hmm. And Lionel Jefferson is he's such a nice young. Archie, real quick, the running gang with Lionel is that Archie thinks of him as kind of the stereotypical black kid in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And Lionel plays into Lionel's just smarter than the average. He's smarter than the average bear. It's the guys. He plays down to Archie, and Mike and everyone knows Lionel Jefferson's messing with Archie when he just plays down to him. Says, and I quote this. Okay, I quote. He says, "I'm going to be an electrical engineer," like Mayor Goldie Wilson from Back to the Future. He basically puts on a voice like that when he tells him. Archie says, "Oh, he loves hearing. He thinks he's doing a service to the black community." It's hilarious. Regardless, Lionel Jefferson, he's a nice young man. He stops by. He's always very polite to Edith Bunker, and he's good friends with Mike. It's real nice. Anyway, so Jeffersons are stopping by. They're on their way, shredding off some seasonal fruitcake, which another trope.
Oh, there's the fruitcake. I knew it was in here somewhere. Okay.
Fruitcake and a Santa suit. Fruitcake and Santa suit.
Yeah.
Mentioning that he's playing Santa Claus at a youth center, and also it's doing charity around the holidays. A lot of charity around the holidays in this one.
Then Archie offers them to sit down, but not in his chair.
Yeah, so now it's a really lousy Christmas for Archie, and now Jefferson has his mortal enemy. One of his mortal enemies before George Jefferson reared his head is in his chair.
Oh no! Oh no!
Henry Jefferson sitting in his chair, and it's not as bad as like he was sitting Sheldon Spot in The Big Bang Theory, but still, Archie, like he'll offer his share to people, but to look good.
Right, right.
Eggnog all around, and then and like, there's a hilarious line where he tells Lionel, "I wouldn't go whistling Dixie quite yet." Lionel says, "Well, I never do that, sir." Never whistles Dixie. Oh, old stuff. Oh, the old ways. So let's see. Jefferson sits in his chair. George is still a no-show. It's mentioned in the scene of like George is still working. Archie tries to. All right, Archie's trying to cover up the fact that Jefferson gave out the Jeffersons gave out better gifts than Archie did to his family, because they're mentioning like, oh, like a TV and a radio, or I don't know, TV or washing machine, whatever, TV and something. The gifts they gave him. I said, oh, Edith, what did you get? And Edith's like, oh, I'll show you. He's like, oh, no. It's poor Archie. And then Jefferson again. I like that Jefferson is also kind of the voice of reason. He's ushering him to his kind of his character.
Yeah, you're right.
He's just saying like, hey, Bunker, what's so look so good? Knows about this. You should be telling me about looks. Saying I'm supposed to have a white beard. And I love that Lionel's being the helpful guy in the room, as he always is, saying, I told you, Uncle Henry. Says, but you know how ridiculous I look if I had a white beard. Anyway, so I look silly with a white beard. Mm-hmm. And then we get into this bit now. When these two guys first met, I love this callback. So he mentions Santa is supposed to be white along with the beard, then got him into that conversation. Then Archie, it's pointed out to Archie, who said Santa was white? And then this harkens back, and as what Archie says here is completely factually accurate, Tiki, which is, Jefferson, now we had this conversation about Jesus being white.
I figured it was
the first time they met, they had that conversation about Jesus being black, and then basically it says, and look, there's Santa and Jesus. I just love Archie saying, look, we already had this conversation. We got a million laughs. Let's not go over it again. I love him. That's like a fourth wall joke. I love that. Mm-hmm. So let's see. So I love Jefferson's rationale, though. I love Henry's rationale, saying, well, look, the man who brought me my gifts, he was black.
Yeah, that's a nice line. Yeah, it
was very accurate. Then they're leaving. They're all leaving. Mike and Gloria are joining him, so we can kind of get the final scene with Edith and Archie. And just as he leaves the door, again, Santa's in some ways you want to read it.
I like this moment.
If you want to read
70s, but it totally works.
If you want to read it in this way, you can read it that, hey, Santa has brought Archie the meaning of Christmas.
No, I can read it that way for sure. In
a very unintentional way, he's brought Archie the meaning of Christmas, and he looks at him with that goofy-looking black beard.
Right.
Beard, like Blackbeard the pirate.
I still
hey, Bunker.
ZZ Top Santa. I want to go with ZZ Top Santa.
Hey, Bunker, what is it? They give him the motion.
Hey, Bunker. Peace. Again, very 70s, but it's so appropriate. Okay, so now Edith's like, oh, wasn't that nice?
I love it. Still love it. Yeah, guy comes in dressed as a famous white person, and he's flashing a pinko sign like that, and he's in my chair. So Archie tells Edith, and this is where we fall in love with Archie. This is why, no matter how
again, this is kind of like what I was talking about towards the beginning. It's like every episode kind of starts with Archie being all cantankerous, but by the end, it's like Archie manages to melt our heart. You know what I mean? And this is the melting our heart moment right here.
Again, like Archie, many times be played as kind of the slow guy in the room, kind of the dumb guy. He has to make these really dumb statements, but you love him at the end of the day because he means them and he doesn't mean it. It's like no matter what bad thing Archie says, he never has any malice behind it. It's very important. He never has any malice or actual hatred behind any of the comments or the bigotries he has.
Absolutely.
It's very key with his character. It's like some of the kids in the modern generation, they'll say, well, man, this is, you'll have your stupid kids now and again. Someone will try, hey, I'm going to show you All in the Family. They're going to put it on for them. I haven't been through this. I'm just saying, I imagine this is how it goes, honestly. So it says, oh, man, look how racist that one guy is. Ha ha ha. But they don't get it.
Yeah, I hear you. I can totally see that. Yeah.
And it was like, I hate just the idea of that generation existing in this world. I like them to kind of appreciate the brilliance of this character. I think that there's enough to hold that up. But anyway, So here's where we fall in love with Archie. Again, Archie at the end of the day, he again, I've been here a million times. We've all been here at some point of our lives, where he says we tell a person we know we've done him wrong. He's explaining to Edith why he lost the bonus. And Edith, listen, I gotta tell you something. And he's about to tell a real nice, calm, cool, and Edith just kind of cuts him off and says, basically says, she put the pieces together and saying, and you let Archie, you don't need to tell me that you lost your bonus because you lost your bonus around the holidays. Tiki, you say it better.
Oh, Archie, you don't have to tell me that you didn't get the bonus because of the mistake at the plant. Basically, the London, England, London, Ontario thing.
Yeah. And just like Archie saying, thanks for understanding about the Christmas bonus, and before that line, thanks for sticking up for me and about the Christmas bonus and everything, and being so understanding. Which again, that's really sweet. That's like Archie giving her kind of the Coke and a smile moment,
Totally.
Well, in this case, kind of the coffee in bed moment.
Oh god.
Let's see. So then Edith mentions she pieced it together. How did you figure that? She pieced it together with as you just said. It ain't such a bad Christmas after all. Oh no, I guess it's Archie. Does Archie say that, or does Edith say that?
I honestly don't know. I have that line written down as well.
But seriously, it's like a sweet kind of up-like bit where Archie or Edith and everybody says, it ain't such a bad Christmas after. It ain't such a bad Christmas after all, and just holding her hand, really sweet. And then we have kind of our post-credit thing we always have when All in the Family come before our outro is that we have like a little bumper at the end where. Mike and Gloria, they had a great time. Archie's in is in a much better mood. He's singing, la 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 la. Get out of my chair, as Mike has sat down coming home. And again, that's all you need to know about Archie. He's in the holiday spirit,
good
but
you can't. Good punctuation at the end.
But you can't change everything. Get out of his chair.
Okay. So that is All in the Family, a Christmas day at the bunkers. So, final thoughts, Dragon?
It's really good. I love that it shows us kind of it shows a really realistic holiday. It doesn't always work out, folks. Sometimes there are going to be lousy Christmases, and the people around you hold dear, the people who can make you feel better when you have. I'm not saying it's always going to be your family, but the point is, people around you who you care about can kind of lift your spirits when things aren't going your way. Because let's face facts, folks. Around the holidays, not everything's going to go your way, and this showcases that immensely well. It has a lot of good laughs in it. It's Archie. Again, it has a lot of good substance to it too. But you can understand, your heart goes out to Archie even more on the second watch. It's really well constructed. It really is.
Oh yeah.
It's very unconventional too, which I think is why I think it goes so well Christmas in July. It's unconventional.
Yeah, I mean, I like how small scale the stakes are in comparison to the other two episodes that we've gotten about All in the Family. Like I said, there are stakes to this for sure, but at the same time, this feels like just kind of more like comfort TV that you can just sit down and watch and, not have to worry about like any too many big issues with this.
And again, like right from the get-go, it's on.
I'm not saying the big issue episodes were bad. I'm just saying it's refreshing to get an All in the Family episode that's more just kind of based on the humor with a little bit of social commentary on the side.
What's so great is this episode. I'm sorry, something just hit upon me right now. I want to mention that this episode is all aftermath. Again, there's no salvaging this Christmas until Archie gets into a better mood. That's the only thing you can do is salvage it. Everything else, it's not him like trying to raise money to make a good Christmas. No, it's not that. It's Christmas Day. Christmas is already passed. They've already given their gifts. They've just eaten the Christmas dinner. That's all they've done.
Yeah, the episode literally starts with Christmas dinner. Yeah, you're right, Dragon. That's actually a very kind of unconventional thing that this episode does that I wasn't even really thinking about. Yeah. Good point.
It's a battle that he's already lost, and it's just him against it's all aftermath, and it's done very well.
And unlike The Simpsons, there's no adorable dog to come in and save the day at the end.
Yep. No, what was his name? Was it
Santa's Little Helper? Santa's Little Helper.
I was building towards a joke, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's past. It's moved now. Let's just go.
Okay, so tropes.
Okay.
We got a laundry list of them this time. I think.
I know. I'm just trying to. Okay, so we got Tiny Charlie. Yes, Charlie Browntree.
Charlie Browntree, of course.
Guy in a Santa suit.
Santa suit, carolers, Fusion Scrooge.
Yep. Just kind of our Scrooge. Let's just call it that.
Fusion Scrooge. It's
Yep.
happening. It's happening. Hashtag Fusion Scrooge.
Charity around the holidays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Fruitcake.
Fruitcake, of course. Of course.
We have yes, mistletoe, thank you. Very key. Let's see. We have I mentioned the tiny Charlie Brown tree.
Yes, yes. The guy not getting his Christmas bonus.
Yes. Gift exchange.
Yep, yep.
Well, you mention of gift exchange, and we get to see the aforementioned
How about
cheap
poor gifts?
cigars. Yes, poor gifts, cheap cigars, and handkerchiefs. Her handkerchiefs. Let's see. Christmas secret.
Would you count the Jeffersons as a special guest star, or are they like regular enough characters?
Yeah, I don't know. Henry Jefferson. This is early on, so maybe I don't know.
Okay, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Henry might count because Henry didn't stick around long until George Jefferson. I don't know. Henry might count.
Okay.
Regardless, let's see. So we had crappy Christmas gifts with the cigars.
Memories of like kind of like the big Christmas gift that you really want to get the kid and you work really hard for, that kind of thing.
Christmas lie.
Sure, Christmas lie.
Christmas secret and Christmas lie, or whichever you want to go with on that one.
Oh man. I'm scrolling through my notes and there's literally like a trope every 3 lines. It's kind of crazy.
Again, there's like it's like, I mean, it's kind of caroling, but I guess
maybe just kind of like the religious debate around the holidays.
Sure, religion around the holidays. Okay.
Let's see. I'm kind of wrapping it up.
Let's see no, I was going to say it kind of counts as Scrooge. I'm not going to count that again.
Fusion Scrooge.
God.
I want that to be a fighting game character now.
See, you have different. Here's the best part: you can fuse different. There should be a game called Charles Oh My the Dickens.
Oh no! Oh no! God!
Oh what? No!
Man!
Charles Oh What in the Dickens? And the game is you have a whole series of Scrooges. And it's all the different Scrooges in various movies, and you can fuse them and fight against other fusions of Scrooge. You can have Bill Murray Scrooge, and you can have Bill Murray Scrooge in going up against Jim.
God! And they can like fuse into like Steven Universe style fusion Scrooge.
Yes, I'm saying you have 2 Scrooges that fuse together versus 2 other Scrooges that fuse together, making for a big awesome Scrooge battle.
Dragon, congratulations. I think we just found our runner for season 3. Oh no. We can go places with this, sir. We can go places with this.
So I'm saying you could have Bill Murray and Fred Flintstone Scrooge.
Oh God.
Fused together versus Jim Carrey.
Is honestly, like more exciting than fucking Super Smash Brothers.
Okay, but who are they going up before the last tangent before we go off? So again, versus Jim Carrey Scrooge mixed with another Scrooge. We need another Scrooge, Tiki.
Okay.
We need a mean Scrooge. We need a bad Scrooge.
A mean Scrooge. Shit.
We need a heavy hitter because they're going up against Bill Murray and Fred Flintstone. Fred freaking Flintstone.
What about George C. Scott?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My money's on the Bill Murray Scrooge.
I seriously, like, if we had more of a following than we actually do, I would almost half consider doing a Kickstarter for this.
Oh God!
Fusion Scrooge.
All right, okay. Well, folks, we've had a lot of fun here today, but Tiki,
we'll have a lot more fun with Fusion Scrooge in the future. But go ahead.
Well, you take us to it, Tiki. Take us to the point.
Well, people, we like to make these Christmas in July episodes a fusion of different holiday tropes, and it's really quite a process.
Yeah, T, it always leaves me dumbfounded at the end of these. T, if there was just some, I can't believe I hadn't thought about it at this point. way of describing this process in a way that was just really catchy. I mean, almost as like kind of Kermit and Rolf kind of come up with the name for Sesame Street in a way. You know, like a really sane and logical. It just makes sense. It just sounds nice. Has some good alliteration in there. Just some process. What would it be called? What?
Putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope, Archie. Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la. Get out of my chair, Edith. Stifle yourself, Edith.
There's New York, Archie. Don't forget about New York.
Sigh.
Fusion Scrooge.